from experience what a distinct honor it is to be considered the best at what you love to do. It's now the moment we've all been waiting for as we reveal the greatest tennis player of all time.
Number 1 and the final spot in our top 100 countdown is Roger Federer, who won a record 16 major titles and captured a career Grand Slam.
I think Federer was a guy that came in and just really took the game light years ahead.
He's the most complete tennis player that I've ever seen. He has every single shot in the book.
He's been touched by the gods as far as his tennis game is concerned. Everything about it is effortless. Everything about it is beautiful on the eye.
Well, it's beautiful to be in the conversation, you know, because I never thought I would be as successful as I have been. And here I am, people talking about me being maybe one of the great players of all time, maybe even the greatest.
To me, he's the best that's ever played the game. What Federer did on the court was remarkable. He had everything that Pete had, plus some. You know, there was never a place to go to out there where you were safe.
He does things with grace, he does it with class, and he does it with incredible efficiency. And it'd be hard to imagine this game finding someone better than him going forward.
Hard to believe that he could continually do it. He respected the game so much that he played his best tennis all the time.
Federer, for me, is the best tennis player I've ever seen. Why? Because he's a great athlete. He feels the game great. He's got about as good a feel for the game as anybody.
Roger he's got all the shots. He's got an amazing variety. It's just fun to watch, you know. He just sort of picks people apart.
I think Roger, because he's won more Grand Slams in this day and age, in this era, and with this competition. Look who he's competing with.
Obviously, having won the most slams of any male obviously does something for that, but I think some of it is just what you see with your naked eye. You just see him do things with a tennis ball that can't be expressed. What a shot! There's no statistic that says anything about picking a ball up and short hopping it with a one-handed backhand and flicking it cross court. You just watch Roger Federer, and I can't escape the fact that I don't think anyone has played the sport better.
That is insane tennis!
In my opinion, it's not an opinion, it's a fact, he's the most successful player of all time. Is Federer the best? I say, yeah, he's the best of his generation.
Everybody's got their own opinion, certainly, but his record has certainly been one that is going to be tough to beat. There's a lot of guys now trying to catch up. Nadal, #1, but his game was very fluid and very elegant. The way he moves around the court, his speed, his agility, he can mix up his shots.
When it comes to numbers, you got to give it to Roger. To have won 16 majors, the record. He's won the French. He's been #1 for 3, 4, 5 years in a row.
He's the best of the history, and probably the best of the history on grass, too.
If you were going to knock down Federer, the first bit of evidence you trot out is his record against Nadal. No question.
I've heard that argument, and it's a somewhat valid argument. You have to beat your rival.
You know, it cuts against him. There's no disputing that. But I think that doesn't disqualify him. I think if you look at the fact that the majority of those matches have been on clay, Nadal's probably his best surface, Federer's worst surface.
You know, the French Open was a tough ask for him. But, you know, it was only so because of Nadal, which was not the case of another guy in that conversation, Pete Sampras. You know, Pete Sampras couldn't beat anybody at the French Open practically. Federer, the only guy he couldn't beat at the French Open was Rafael Nadal.
You know, there are those who like to continually diminish Roger by pointing out that he can't beat Rafa on clay, which is true. Who has?
I would still put Roger overall ahead of Rafa, but we may have to redo this interview in a couple of years.
It wasn't so much his game that made me place him at #1 of all time. It was his record. You look at 2004, 5, 6, and 7, that 4-year stretch, he wins 11 out of 16 Grand Slam events that he plays. And there were 3 of those years where he won 3 slams a year. That's very difficult to do.
Well, I just think the consistency I was able to show for such a long time to stay at the highest of levels. In 2003, I cracked the top 5 in the world, and ever since I've been there. So I think that's, for me, a great achievement.
He's a great player, and he's got all these records, but I feel like he has to figure out how to beat these guys. But 16 majors, that's pretty impressive.
I am still playing, so as long as I'm playing, I still have an opportunity to either rewrite history, to achieve more things. I'm eager to play many more years to come, and I'm very excited of how well I'm going to do in the next few years.
Congratulations to Roger Federer and all of the other legends we've had a chance to celebrate during this special 5-part series. When you think of all the players to ever pick up a racket, to make this top 100 list is truly an extraordinary achievement. It has been quite an honor for me to be part of this historic countdown. I'm Wayne Gretzky. Thanks for watching the final episode of Tennis Channel's 100 Greatest of All Time.